Hey guys, Brett Mix here with some Macho Madness. We're doing the in memory of. This is my fifth wrestler. I'm just choosing them randomly. I want to get to each wrestler though. Look at their life and then look at their circumstances that led to their death and how they're remembered. Today we're doing Brian Christopher Lawler, known as Brian Christopher or Grandmaster Sexay, as his time in Too Much. Well, Too Cool, but it started as a tag team. His name was Too Much in the WWF, which is now WWE. He won 44 titles in his career in the USWA, which is co-owned by his father, Jerry the King Lawler, and WWF. He was a former tag team champion, and he feuded over the light heavyweight title with Taka Michinoku in 1998. It wasn't said that he was the king's son, but it was pretty much joked and pretty much well known online, and that it was in the early ages of the dirt sheets that he was Jerry Lawler's son. All one had to do was look at them side by side. They had the same laugh. Brian Christopher had run-ins with TNA after his release in 2001. He had wrestled some matches over in Japan. But it's unfortunately what kept him in isolation that is most notorious when we're talking about Christopher. He was arrested for drunk driving and evading arrest after police spotted him as speeding and swerving in his car on July 7th. Officers attempted to pull him over, but he initially refused to stop and smelled of alcohol when he was apprehended. It was then 23 days later that he was found unconscious in his prison cell, where officers tried CPR before taking him to the hospital. Former WWE star Shawn X-Pac, we'll get back to the death in a second. Former WWE star Shawn X-Pac Waltman alleged that Brian Christopher had been kept in solitary confinement despite the relatively minor charges he was facing. X-Pac said on Twitter, "I'm saddened beyond these words for Brian's death. He and I were close during our time in WWE together. I have memories of Brian both inside the ring and out. No one out but the most dangerous criminals should be put in solitary confinement for almost a month." So X-Pac was hot at the fact that Brian Christopher Lawler was spending time in solitary confinement, but the prison said it was because of his notoriety. That's the reason why he was in solitary confinement. The Hardin County Sheriff also said that they had no indication that the former wrestler was suicidal, but the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is looking into the death. TBI special agents are investigating the circumstances, and the investigation's ongoing. Jerry Lawler told a radio station that there may be more than meets the eye after being contacted by the TBI to not comment further until the investigation is complete. They told the King to stop saying that until it's complete. What happened is around 1 a.m. Eastern on July 7, 2018, Brian Lawler was jailed again for driving under the influence. On the early morning of July 29, 2018, though, Lawler was found hanging in a cell at Hardin County Jail and was observed to be brain dead at that point. His life support was disabled a few hours after his father, the King, Jerry the King Lawler, arrived to the hospital to see him. Brian Christopher Lawler was pronounced dead around 4:40 p.m. Eastern at the age of 46. On the one-year anniversary of his death, Jerry the King Lawler filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Hardin County Sheriff Department, John Doolin, and others for allegedly failing to protect Lawler. He alleged that Doolin had personally promised to keep an eye on him after he was incarcerated. After at his funeral, a little red wagon that used to carry all his title belts in his career was seen present at the funeral, decorated, respected, and well-liked wrestler. As a well-liked wrestler. I always remembered him as one of those brash heels, in the light heavyweight division. The comedy, as I said, his comedy run when he was in Too Much before it became Too Cool. Yeah, it's really sad when anyone dies, but especially if suicide's in there, there's never a good enough reason for it. I've had friends die of suicide. I've had a lot of history also with that. Disease, I guess you could call it. It gets people, but even if it wasn't suicide, it looks like a big amount of neglect was being put on this guy, and I'm just sorry he had to go through all this, because no one deserves to die at 46 in a cell hanging. But anyway, on this channel, we just want to pay our respects and mention a few facts and what he meant to us as fans. So if there's anybody in the comments section that remembers him a different way or a good way, then feel free to comment. Alright, rest in peace, Brian Christopher Lawler. Thanks for watching.